What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Bull Season 1, Episode 3, Unambiguous. I really am enjoying the show. I've said this in the past couple reviews. I don't know if that's just because this is my type of show, the psychology behind it, the psychoanalysis. I love shows like this. So I'm trying to separate my love for shows like this with the critiquing side of it and trying to see flaws in it. And I gotta admit, it's pretty hard. I've got a couple other shows, Agents of Shield, The Walking Dead, shows like that I love, and I just tune in every week, and I enjoy it, no matter how cheesy it gets at times. I find it hard to be like, okay, let's look at this from a critical point of view. So that's what I'm trying to do here. First of all, as I've been saying in the last few reviews, sorry this is coming so late. I got busy this week, didn't have time to watch any shows, so I'm trying to catch up. But yeah, this is a very interesting episode because this one, first of all, we've got Benny is once again the defense attorney, but he has some history with the prosecutor. Apparently, they were a thing when he was a prosecutor, and then when he quit, kind of separated and didn't really end amicably. So a little bit of interesting history there. The case itself, like the first case, they kind of had a resolution as far as, okay, they know who the killer is, but it wasn't as rushed, I guess, as the first one. Like the first one, it was, the case ended, and then it immediately goes to the criminal, like with a necklace from the victim, and then all of a sudden the cops are outside waiting for it. I was like, wait, where did this come from? And this one, it felt like there was actually some build-up. It felt like okay, so we're getting some clues as to why this girl is innocent. We're getting some clues as to possible motives for other people. And then it ends with the prosecutor comes to the office and talks to Dr. Bull and says, looks like your hunch was right about the coach. And so it's like, okay, so they actually did have some hunches in there. They had some ideas of culprits it could have been besides their client. It wasn't as bad, but I think most importantly what it did, it kept the focus on the trial. And that's what I said last week. Whenever, I was watching the episode, it wasn't so much a criminal case. It was actually a civil case. It was, did this woman do her job right as a pilot? And so it was kind of like, this show isn't really about, okay, let's solve a mystery. It's more about, let's try to help our client. Now, whether or not they go anywhere interesting with that, like if they take on a guilty client, what do they do then? That type of stuff is still yet to be seen. But they're very clearly focusing, this is a case show. It's a trial show. We're going to watch, we're going to learn about trial law, we're going to see some psychoanalysis stuff. I like that. I like the fact that it's staying very focused on that. But yeah, several good points to talk about. Very good emotional moments in the show so far. The first 3 episodes, they've had that moment that's just kind of like, it hits the emotional part of you. Some of them, I think the first episode is probably the weakest one of the 3, but I think the last 2 weeks they've had that bam moment where you're just like, wow, that kind of hit me. In this one, I think it was definitely the girl up on the stand, the prosecutor pushing her, trying to force her to have a panic attack, and she just powers through because Dr. Bull is helping her through it and helping her get over it, and kind of just finding the strength within herself to move on and get past this traumatic event that has affected her. It was a very good moment. I kind of wish they hadn't, I don't know, the way they edited it was a little bit strange, have him talking while the prosecutor is talking to her. Like, I wish it could have been a bit more. We see him coaching her, and then they cut to the trial, and now we see the prosecutor going at her. We see her just implementing all the stuff that he told her a few minutes ago, and said it was all happening all at once. It was a bit rushed. But, ultimately, her little monologue that she gives, I thought was very impactful and really did well. But yeah, like I said, the case was interesting enough. You've got this girl who is pretty much journalism in a nutshell, I guess. You're trying to take the most interesting parts, probably not all journalism, but there are a lot of journalists out there who probably do focus more on specific facts that make it a more interesting read than focusing on all the facts. That would probably just make it, who cares? So we see how that affects somebody who is the victim of this. We get to see the effect that it has on her, and that even when she goes to jail for holding back information, all she can see is, oh, even more people downloaded my story now because I'm in jail. That's awesome. But you're in jail. Like, where's the logic in that? But that's all she sees. That is all she can think about is how many people are downloading my story, how many people want to read my story. So it was interesting to see she did get annoying because she was kind of, I don't know, she was very cocky, and it didn't feel like she ever got her comeuppance. Well, she died, but it was more like she was killed because of the information she had. So kind of interesting little turn to take there, but I think overall the main part of the story was just following this trial and seeing how social media does affect a trial. And I think you look back at probably one of the biggest cases that had so many people talking about it, the O.J. Simpson trial. Think about how many people were already talking about it. Think about how hard it was to get a jury that was completely unbiased. You see that in this case, obviously on a smaller scale. I don't think we can compare this to O.J. Simpson, but I'm just using that as a reference. So before you get all offended, type mean comments. Pretty much what I'm saying is social media can affect a trial, and it can also affect us in our daily lives, and it can affect how we view things. And this episode really brought that to light. I thought it did a good job of handling it. And so far, like I said, they're really doing a good job. The characters inside the team for Dr. Bull, they're starting to get a bit more screen time. We're starting to see them getting a bit more in depth into their lives. We're getting a bit more about Benny in this episode. I'm really trying hard to remember all of the characters' names because there's so many. But Cable is another one. Still wish they could come up with a better name than Cable, but whatever. But we see her, I don't really know where this is going. I'm not going to assume anything, but we see her becoming friends, possibly, with the client in this case, and kind of finding that interesting connection between the two. Ignore that. It's just random noises. So it was very interesting to see all that come together. It was interesting to see the team working together, finding the little niches within the team that can help solve the case, can help solve the trial, and help the client find the strength within themselves to push on and not just give in whenever things go sideways. So really enjoyed the episode, really so far enjoying the season. I think they're doing a good job in bringing us a good trial every single episode, bringing us a good case, not focusing on the mystery itself, focusing more on making it a trial show, which helps make it a bit more unique as a show. Really enjoying it. Looking forward to next week's episode. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. What did you like and dislike about this episode? What do you want to see next week? All that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Bull reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.